Okay, guys, welcome to science today. So, if you can see up here, we're going to continue life science. We're going to talk about natural selection, and really, what this one is it's kind of a unit review. So, if you look right here, there's I think there are 15, 15 questions that cover everything we've done up until this point. So we are in, this is 4.9. So this will cover 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, and 4.8. So what I'm going to have you do, if you'd like, this is just to kind of give you some feedback on where you are. You can go back and certainly in Google Classroom and look at those lessons to try to get the answers. And then afterwards, so the answers are all right here. So I would go ahead and take that just to see how you're doing. And then what I'm going to do right here, and this is on natural selection. So we'll go ahead and read this. And then there's some questions afterwards. Okay. So this says, how far back does your family tree go? 100 years, 1,000 years? What about 6 to 7 million years? An ancient skull found in Africa suggests that human family might be that old. Discovered in 2001 in the desert of Chad, the skull was nicknamed Tumai by scientists. Tumai is a rare find. The skull is nearly complete. It even includes a few teeth. The finding is not without controversy. Some scientists think that Tumai is the oldest known hominid or primitive human ancestor ever found. Others cite Tumai as an ape. Most hominids that scientists are aware live millions of years after Tumai. The most famous one is called Lucy. She lived in Ethiopia about 3.5 million years ago. While Lucy's face looked like the face of the chimpanzee, Tumai's skull both had human and ape-like features. Because Tumai's skull looks different from other hominid skulls, some scientists think Tumai represents a whole new species. Tumai's official name is, and that's the scientific word, Skeletopus tuscades. Scientists were supposed to find a human-like face on a skull as old as Tumai's. They thought hominids turned into humans step by step over time. Scientists plot these changes on timelines, starting with a chimpanzee-like ancestors, ending with modern humans. Tumai's human-like face and chimp-like brain suggest the development of hominids were not that simple. There may be a direct line leading from Tumai to Lucy. Instead of the timeline might resemble a tree with lots of branches. Different species in different places could have evolved human-like features at different time. Scientists aren't exactly Tumai belongs on our family tree. Tumai could also be a great-great-grandfather, just a distant cousin. Tumai could also be one of the hominids that roamed the earth millions of years ago. Okay. And this says, why do some scientists think that Tumai represents a new species? So if we went back up to this article, it's his skull looks different from others. Sometimes he thinks he's representing a whole new species. So the first one would be C, because the skull looks different than other ones. So based on the passage, one could argue that Tumai best fits in what position on human tree. And this basically said a lot of things. Could be a great-great-grandfather or a distant cousin. Could be one of the types. So it's a great-great-grandfather or distant cousin. So I would go with the distant cousin, because it says grandfather, and that's a great-grandfather. So the best answer would be distant cousin. Okay, which of the following statements is supported by this passage? New discoveries can change how scientists understand humans. New discoveries confirm what scientists already know. New discoveries prove that scientists are wrong about humans. New discoveries help scientists make new medicines for humans. So, new discoveries can change how scientists understand humans. Okay. So it would be A, because whenever you find something new, scientists always, kind of adjust to that. So every time you find something new, it's going to help the scientists kind of change kind of what they already know. So new discoveries can change how scientists understand humans. See, they're not wrong. They're just learning more as more evidence comes in. So the best answer for 3 would be A. Okay. So read the following sentence, answer the question. Some scientists think that Tomei is the oldest known hominid or primitive human ancestor ever found. In sentence, the word primitive would mean early. So like when we have when they talk about primitive tools, those are just early tools like that Native Americans used, or even in Europe, Greek or Romans. Tools have evolved. So primitive means very early. Obviously, if time goes on, things get better. If you want to think about it, if we said primitive cell phone, that would be the old cell phone that was like the big square with the big rubber antenna on that. Obviously, cell phones have kind of evolved, but to get the context, that was kind of the primitive or one of the first cell phones. The main idea of this passage is that all scientists agree that Tomei is our great-grandfather. Scientists disagree about how Tomei fits in the human family tree. Some scientists think Tomei is an ape. Scientists disagree about the location. It would be B, because they said maybe he's a great-grandfather or maybe he's a distant cousin. So they disagree exactly about where he fits in. The next one, it says, what is the Tomei skull? And that would just be, if you went up here, Tomei is a rare found. The skull is nearly complete, even includes a few teeth. So it was like a skull with some teeth, is really what it was. Okay. And then number 7. How does discovery of Tomei's challenge what scientists know about human developments? If we go back up to this here, it's all in this paragraph. It says scientists were surprised to find a human-like face on a skull as old as Tomei's. They thought hominids turned into humans step by step over time, and they plot those changes on timelines, starting with a chimpanzee-like ancestor and with the modern humans. Tomei's human-like face and chimp-sized brain suggest the development of humans is not that simple. So, they thought that it basically changed over time, but this kind of shows that maybe it isn't that simple. So that's really how you would answer that question. It kind of changed how they thought humans developed. Okay. And the last question below is an incomplete sentence. Choose the word that best completes the sentence. Tomei could be the oldest hominid, but some scientists think it was an ape. So it would be B. All right, you guys, I know it was a short lesson. So I would just, when we get to this quiz up here, these first few questions, these are all things that we covered, like I said, and this will give you kind of a more accurate representation of what you might see on maybe certain aspects of the task test. So this is just going to be kind of a practice test, and you can certainly go back and review those other sections if you want. You can just try to take it, check your answers, and the ones you got wrong, go back and check. You can do it any way you want. And just remember, all the answers are right after that. The answers are all right here, starting right here. Okay, you guys, I'm going to start reading here in about 15 minutes. So hopefully I'll see you there. If not, have a wonderful weekend. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.